Ever since the release of the Spike Paragon in BT6, I really wanted to test if one single spike can beat an entire elite boss by itself. And what I mean by that is having only one spike tower regardless of the crosspath defending versus every single tier of boss, eventually ending with the Paragon. Now right out of the get-go, this doesn't work with the majority of towers in BT6 because first off, well, they would need a Paragon to make this thing work, and then secondly and most importantly, some of those Paragons are just straight up not strong enough by themselves to do the thing, to beat the boss, and some combinations are like straight up impossible. For example, the Tag Paragon cannot beat Phase because it doesn't have innate camo, and no single Paragon can beat Bloons, for example. So let's see if the Spike Paragon, which is I think the second strongest Paragon in BT6, let's see if it's gonna be a super high degree. That's why I brought Geraldo, by the way. So let's see if this thing can beat the tier 5. I feel like the most difficult part of this run is gonna be getting going with the farming and just doing the first few tiers, I would say up to tier 3, and then for tiers 4 and 5 we must have a Paragon on screen, and there's pretty much nothing else to do besides just keep using the abilities and hopefully it works. Alright, so I don't want to be spending too much money on defending, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna place one of these Jerry turrets like here on the side. Hopefully this is gonna be enough because I do want to be investing all the money back into the farms. Alright, then let's take a little bit of a farming detour actually before we keep buying our farms. So I wanted to get this Robert to gold because as you guys probably know, this guy is insane at farming and we're not gonna have the money for the let to gold yet, but this tower is now very high on my priority list when I'm farming, and if that means delaying some of the farms, then I'm actually gonna do it. I don't care. Alright, so let's actually move forward with the IMF thingy. So I'm gonna sell the action figure right now. I'm gonna get a village here on the side. Let's go like this, upgrade the collect from the farm, actually upgrade to the IMF flow, and I'm gonna deposit all the cash, and then with the deposit money and the IMF ability, we should be able to get this IMF Opolis, and then I'm just gonna go straight into the Robert to gold as soon as possible. So ideally you would want to be doing this with a bunch of discount villages, but I don't think our situation is that bad, so I'm just gonna do it like this. Let's collect, let's get a loan going, let me get the Monkeyopolis. We do have a little bit of cash remaining, and I think we should start looking towards buying some defensive towers. And when I say defensive towers, no lead balloons incoming anytime soon, so let me get the larger potions. I know, let me get one more of these turrets here on the side. We have a huge debt to repay. It's $8,500 so far, and then we are probably going to need to destroy our farming completely so that we can buy. I was thinking the Carpet of Spikes for the tier 1, but let's actually see how much money we're gonna end up with before the tier 1 boss. Alright, so round 39 is ending, and here's how things are looking. The tier 1 boss is on the screen. We have 3 marketplaces, but I'm actually not gonna start defending right now. I was actually thinking of farming just a tiny bit more before starting to defend because Bloonarius is a super slow balloon, and we're not exactly in a hurry at this point because we know exactly what tower we're gonna be using. Alright, so getting this thing to the central market, round 43 Bloonarius is kind of walking down the track for sure. We did get our first fertilizer, so I'm just gonna use it onto this central market that we got. This is gonna help a lot of money, and we still have not even started buying up our defensive towers. So I don't know, do we greed it out for like one more central market plus a fertilizer, or do we just start buying up the defense towers? I think we greed it out, guys. Let's buy one more central market. Let's fertilize this guy, and now I'm gonna start going towards the spikes. So the first tier is gonna get defended hopefully by a Carpet of Spikes. I was thinking, you know what, I think we should start getting the damage going. So I'm actually gonna use one of these abilities just to start damaging Bloonarius a tiny bit because it's gonna be a long ways before we get the Carpet of Spikes. Alright, so here's the plan. I am gonna sell both of these farms now, and once we do that, we're gonna have the money for a Carpet of Spikes. But here's how I wanted to combo it. I'm gonna use the Spike Storm ability, which is gonna trigger a skull, sell both of these farms, and now buy the Carpet of Spikes, because once you buy it, it automatically triggers the ability as soon as you get the tier 5. And because we just released a wave, this is gonna help clear out all of these ceramics, hopefully, that we just released. Wait a minute, that's 2 waves. Are we gonna need to Maelstrom this one? I don't think the spikes are gonna be enough, guys. I'm just gonna... Oh, wait a minute, we do get an ability. How is this looking? Are these abilities gonna be fine? Nope, that's super close. Am I gonna Maelstrom this on time? I did use it. I actually don't think that Maelstrom was really necessary, by the way. You know what? It's fine. We're gonna take it. Let's just continue farming, and let's just be careful about what is going out. So another wave of ceramics. We are gonna have the ability in a second. So how... Oh my god, this map, it confuses me a little bit. Let's use the active ability. Hopefully it doesn't proc on our skull. Oh, which it did. That's ridiculous. Okay, let's just keep farming, by the way. So let's go like this. Keep buying up these central markets. Alright, so in our passive ability, oh my god, this one ability triggered like 2 skulls. That's not good. I think if we were to use like Maelstrom, it's gonna be now, I think. Oh no, that's like 2 skulls at once. Are we gonna get the active ability? You know what? I'm just gonna be ready with... Oh, we get the passive one, so I'm just gonna place a Maelstrom in the back. We did get the passive plus the active, and is this gonna be fine? Again, I don't think this Maelstrom did a lot of damage, honestly. You know what? It's completely fine. Not complaining. So that was the last skull, and we did manage to take out the tier 1. I'm telling you guys, this is gonna be a thing. Until we get through the first few tiers, this is how it's gonna look like. But there we go, we defeated tier 1, so it's time for us to sell this carpet spikes. I'm actually gonna turn off auto start. Let's rebuild our farming now. Alright, so let's let these guys produce for like 1 or 2 more rounds, and I think it's gonna be fine. We can sell all of these farms basically and go for the banana central. So I think this is gonna be the round. It's gonna be 53 when we go for the banana central. I am saving this one last fertilizer, which I'm just straight up gonna use on the banana central once we buy it, and I think the money is fine now. So let's sell all of these guys, sell the carpet spikes as well. I think I'm gonna have it like here up top. And is this, oh, we're about $2,000 off. Come on, we're gonna get the money in a second, by the way. There we go. Alright, so let's fertilize this banana central. It goes absolutely insane, by the way, especially once you give it the Monkey City Village and you overclock it. I think it's fine, guys. I think we finally stabilized. The money's doing well. We're farming kind of fine. We could have been doing a lot better, but I'm completely fine with this. Let me just get like a favor trades both here on the side, so we get a little bit of sellback value onto these farms on the right side. And then how are we defeating the tier 2 boss? I was actually thinking of going for the super mines. I don't think there's any other solution for the tier 2. I think we just have to go for it. Look at this thing's price, 125,000, and the HP of the boss is 300k, plus he's gonna be resummoning some nasty balloons on each skull. Alright, so let's actually just start selling up all these farms that we bought on the side. Specifically for this reason, we are just a tiny bit short, to which we should have the money on this round. So let's buy the super mines. Do we have a fertilizer ready, by the way? Yes, we do. Let's save this actually for the central market, and let's see if these super mines are gonna be fine. They do a lot of damage versus the boss, as you guys can see. You can actually notice when a super mine explodes right here at the top with the HP bar. It's just a question of whether it's gonna be enough or not. And let's actually just give the super mines a little bit of extra attack speed. I'm even gonna drop an alchemist next to it. Let's go like this, make it a 4-0. Why not? Are we defeating the small balloons, guys? I see a lot of explosions. Are these explosions enough? What is even happening? I think it's gonna be fine. I think it's fine versus the small balloons so far, but one problem that we have with the super mines is that, let me just click on the tower. You guys see this range? It's super small. So the second the Bloonarius leaves this range, the damage is just gonna flat out stop on it. So let's kind of go ahead of that thing, and let's buy this thing. Let's buy a support Chinook so we can move it around. Overall, that was really good though. Halfway there with the HP, we're defeating all the summons, so kind of happy with how the super mines are doing so far. We also have round 63 going on in the background, and this is actually doing very well. These super mines are very good versus the tier 2, but I was actually considering using them versus the tier 3 as well, and let me tell you, that thing is just another beast. And by the way, we're not even doing any more damage to Bloonarius yet with these super mines, so let me just, I guess we're gonna move him like this. Why not? Oh yeah, there we go. Some huge explosions happening. One more skull left, and then after this we need to restart our farming. And then for the tier 3, oh, for the tier 3, I want to ultra boost this guy 10 times and just whatnot, because we're gonna need insane amounts of damage. We find so far, by the way, I see a lot of small balloons, but I'm just kind of taking comfort in the fact that the super mines is just OP. And there goes the tier 2 boss. Let's just make sure we deal with the summons. I'm gonna keep this guy on screen just for a while. Sell the super mines now. Let's sell the Chinook, and for the next few rounds I think we're just gonna be spamming a bunch of 4-0 farms. Let's make sure we fertilize the Banana Central and some of these other farms. Yeah, this map is a little bit weird when it comes to farming, for sure. I mean, you can have farms, it's just that they're all going to be like spread out everywhere across the map. Is this one in range, by the way? It's not, but I'm going to go for the Monkey City anyway, so it's fine. So let's get another set of BRFs here up top. Alright, so tier 3 boss about to appear. Let's check in on the super mines. We're at 9 stacks. This is gonna be the 10th stack as soon as the ultra boost comes off cooldown. And the way I was thinking of doing this was I actually wanted to make these buffing stations, because we are probably gonna have to keep moving the super mines across the map. So I wanted to center these buffing stations around the villages that we already have. So here is how we're gonna do that. I'm gonna first off upgrade all these villages to jungle jumps, and I'm gonna pre-place an alchemist. And so each time we move the super mines, like let's say, oh, that's a little bit outside of the range. Each time we move the super mines with the Chinook, whether it's gonna be here down the right side or it's gonna be here up top, it's always gonna be ready with an alchemist and a little bit of extra attack speed from the villages. And actually we need to buy the Chinook right now. Oh, wait a minute, you cannot have it? Oh, there we go, you can have it here. Alright, so how is the damage looking? The boss is about to walk into these super mines, replacing a lot of super mines. It's just the question is if the damage is gonna be enough. We seem to be getting through the first skull. We did like a 1.5 HP bars of damage so far, and Bloonarius is kind of in the middle. He's right on top of the spike factory so far. Yeah, this is definitely a little bit slower than previously, so we're even resummoning Badlands, guys. Look at this guy go. I think it's time for us to move the spike factory though, so let me just move it up to the next point. Let's I think I'm gonna wait just a second. Alright, I think it's time for us to start moving the spike factory. So Bloonarius is, yes, outside of the range of the spike, so let's move it here on the right side, on this like right buffing station as I call it. Alright, slowly getting there. I mean, this guy is dishing out mines like crazy. 1.1, 1.2 million HP. This also includes like like the insides, because literally none of our other towers that we have can actually deal with those insides. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how things are going so far. We seem to be dealing with the insides, which is the most important problem. It's like bats and DDTs at this point. And yeah, the damage is gonna stop just for a second. Actually, we're gonna get an explosion now because round 84 is about to end. Oh my god, that was a huge one. That's so amazing, actually. So you guys know what happens when a round switches. If you have like these pre-placed super mines on the ground, they explode when the next round starts. And the explosion AoE is kind of big, and it did actually affect the boss right there. I guess in a way this means that no super mines are gonna go wasted, even if they're not like directly hitting the boss. But you do need to have the boss be a little bit closer. That way, it happened again. But you do need the boss to be a little bit closer so that he's actually in range of the AoE of the explosions. Alright, so round 87, one more skull and one more HP bar left. Definitely a lot slower than the before, but you know what? These super mines, they actually got it, guys. That's crazy. So our plan worked with the ultra boost and everything. Thankfully, we didn't have to spend money on like a true sun god to get even more like basically range, damage, or whatever it is. And do we need to do one more switch up? No. So when this round ends, we're gonna get an explosion. Bam, that's gonna be the last one. Alright, so we actually do defeat the tier 3, very important. And now starting from the tier 4, I think we have no choice. We probably have to start using the Paragon. And actually what I'm about to do right now involves taking a huge risk. So here's what I want to do. I want to be placing these Geraldo Paragon power totems, but the thing is, if we buy the Paragon on round 100 and we start placing the totems now, it's gonna absorb them, and I don't want that. So what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna buy the Paragon on round 90, and then we're gonna start placing up all these Paragon power totems. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna drop like these two for the next Paragon. Let's buy the Paragon right now. Let's put in like, this is the most amount of money that we can put, like 277k. Let's see what degree we get. I think that was a degree 19. Yeah, there we go. I hope that this is gonna be enough, because if it's not, then this entire run is probably gonna go to waste. We're gonna have to sell it and then rebuild everything, and then all the Paragon power totems are gonna get absorbed, and we don't want that happening. Alright, so here it is, round 98 ending. Round 99 is gonna be a very short one, and I unhooked one of these tech bots because I'm gonna use it on the Spike Paragon right now. Let me just keep placing all these totems so we don't overstock onto them. And let's use the tech bot onto the Spike Factory, and let's see if this guy is gonna be enough. So the first thing that's gonna get launched is gonna be this landmine ability, which I absolutely love, and it seems to be doing a lot of damage so far. Oh my god, there goes like one skull at least. Is he gonna take out two skulls with one single ability? That's ridiculous. It actually is. That's crazy how much damage this thing does. Oh yeah, look at this thing, guys. We just used like one ability, and with all these spikes on the field, this should take out at least 3 skulls by itself. So I think it's safe to say that this degree 19 should be fine versus this tier 4 Bloons, right? You know, it's a little bit funny what happened in the previous update. Actually, when I say previous update, I mean update 48.2 at this point, because all these permanent spikes that you see on the screen were actually apparently not scaling with Paragon degrees. But now, because they are, this is like the perfect time to attempt this in the first place, because all these summons that are coming out of Bloons, they are the ones that are actually dealing with them and not the mines, because the mines are just, well, destroyed. Bloons went through all of them. Yeah, this guy's gonna win no problem. So we're getting one last Spike-ageddon, Armageddon. I forget what it was called. It was something like that. It was Spike-ageddon, I think, the name of this landmine ability. But once this thing gets launched, you know that we already saw it at the beginning. It like takes out 2 HP bars by itself. So yeah, there we go. That's the tier 4. That was actually not even close, I want to say. Alright, then I sold the Spike Paragon. Here's what we're gonna do. I am just gonna rebuy all these tier 5s, and the idea is that we want to collect as many pops as possible onto these spikes before the tier 5 boss arrives. I even kept this thing, the Ultra Boost, so I'm gonna be using this on the super mines, and I think the only thing left to do is just keep placing all these Paragon power totems, wait for the spikes to get a bunch of pops, and then see what degree we get for the tier 5. 119, this is gonna be the last round, so I'm just gonna start selling up all these farms. Honestly, we don't need them. I also bought a bunch of boats so we make a little extra cash, and this is gonna become really handy. I think that was a good idea overall. Alright, let me just keep selling all these farms because we're no longer gonna need them, and I think we did get a decent amount of pops. Actually, let me just sell this and this. I'm gonna sell the Ultra Boost as well, and let's do a pop count check onto this thing. 2.8 million, about 173. Yeah, so we're consider this being at about 3 million pops, because I don't think the Perma Spike has anything. And then let's finish it off with all of these sacrificial small towers, and let's buy it. So the maximum amount of money, 3.3 million. We are just about there with the money that we farm. By the way, let's see what degree we get. That is an 86. Can this mega massive munitions factory Spike Paragon be able to deal with a tier 5 boss all by itself? We are actually gonna buy some damage amplification towers like the last time, so let's call like this. Let me get this thing like this, the super build, and I think we are done, guys. Let me just hook this guy up to the tech bot and let's go. Can this degree 86 beat an entire tier 5 boss by itself? Well, let's watch. So 40 million HP on Bloonarius. The spike again ability is getting launched. This thing looks very cool, by the way. This is my first time buying a degree 86 on this pair. It looks really, really well. Oh my god, that was like, oh, look at these explosions. This is wild. What is even happening? I think we like triggered with the small balloons with like, well, the 1% spawns the Bloonarius has. I think we triggered all the landmines across the screen. That was insane. Alright, so the landmine ability does have the damage, it seems like, and it is going on cooldown. But the thing is, once we use it again, so this time, oh, wait a minute, because we triggered all landmines, we're launching it again. How much damage is it going to do this time? Alright, so it seems to be very close to what we witnessed on the tier 4. It's like at least 1.5, if not 2 HP bars by itself, right? It's still going. Oh my god, it's still going. It just stopped. That was like 2 HP bars by itself easily. Oh my god, this ability is insane. I mean, should we be worried about the small balloons like the deities? I don't think so. I think these spikes it's leaving on the screen with the normal attacks, they're just doing fine in clearing out the balloons. So the Bloonarius is on top of it, so he's kind of clearing out whatever gets spawned. But we do get another landmine ability. Yes, raining down onto this boss. This is probably even one of the fastest clears that we have so far. I mean, look at this thing, 122. Yep, I mean, you guys know how it goes. Once you get the damage, once you get the high Paragon degree, so this is gonna be the last spike again ability getting launched, and I'm pretty sure that this one is gonna finish off the boss itself because we had a little bit less than 2 HP bars. We're gonna trigger the last call for sure, and then this is like a super fast clear, guys. Look at what is even happening. So around 124, oh, barely there, about 1.5 million HP left. Are we actually gonna get one more spike again, an ability to end it off? I think we are. Yes, there we go. So this is how we're gonna end it off. That is just absolutely fitting, and the answer is yes. Can one spike defeat an entire elite boss by itself? It wasn't even close, honestly, for the tier 5. This thing is way too powerful. It is probably the second, if not the first Paragon in terms of power in BT6, and that was just absolutely amazing. And that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'm gonna see you all in the next one.